Happy new moon in Aries. This Aries new moon becomes exact at 5:28 a.m. New York time on March 24th. I'm going to be speaking in some code during this transmission, so please bear with me. Oh wow, has the world changed since my last full moon in Virgo update. It's incredible how fast things have happened. When I spoke about what was going on in the world a fortnight ago, I was in the minority in the spiritual community who were taking a very serious tone to what's going on. As it turns out, I didn't take a serious enough of a tone. I had predicted we wouldn't see food shortages in the U.S., and lo and behold, not 2 days following the full moon, we were already seeing bare shelves in grocery stores around the country. The train has started rolling down the hill with this event, and it will be nearly impossible to stop its momentum. What remains to be seen is how long it lasts, what the death toll will be, and what the economic impact will be, and how many of our basic freedoms will be further eroded in the process. We are in the midst of a full-on attack from the dark forces. It's no coincidence that this event has occurred the year after the rollout of the new technology, the 5 and let's call it the GG. And this new technology has been proven by thousands of peer-reviewed scientific papers to be very harmful to humans, animals, and plants. It is weakening the population and facilitating this thing which may have been created in like a science experiment, let's say. As we enter into Aries season, we find the history book of our planet turning the page in earnest to what I'm calling a brave new world. The, let's call it, order of our new world is here, and we can no longer pretend that everything is all fine and dandy. Capricorn has a great way of making things very clear so that they can no longer be ignored. As it turns out, the grand Mercury-Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on January 12th was really our introduction into the grand theme of 2020, that we can no longer ignore what is really going on in the world and what we are up against as a human race. My hope is that as this train continues rolling down the hill and people's time is no longer being occupied by work and social activities and they remain stuck at home, that they will begin to become more open to realizing what is going on in the world. Just as this thing is accelerating, we need the expansion of consciousness to accelerate on the planet now. Now is the time, light workers, to come out of the closet. We can no longer afford to hide. Our entire existence as a species is at stake here. Now is the time to spread the information through the internet. As the online media platforms continue to strike us down, we must continue to spread information and light. This new moon in Aries conjunct with Chiron is bringing the Martian energies of the planet to the forefront to be renegotiated, as Mars is the ruler of Aries. The Martian governments of the world have put the people of the planet on an unprecedented lockdown while they continue with the installation of the Orwellian technocratic state through the use of that technology I spoke of. There's a G, and a 5, something like that, such as facial recognition and biometrics. With Saturn having entered Aquarius, we are likely to see an accelerated spread of this thing and further limitations in our ability to travel freely. Whatever lockdowns have been put in place already are likely to get even more limiting. The military is going to become more and more involved in, at the very least, having a presence in especially major cities around the Western world. At this time, we need to have compassion and love for the Martian energies that are sweeping the planet. To hate what's going on only feeds it. There are so many amazing things that are happening now because of this thing that's going on in the world, like temporarily lessening the pollution load on the planet and giving people an impetus to go inward and get in touch with the darkness within them by forcing themselves to be isolated from others. Our separation from each other physically is in many ways causing us to connect with each other even more closely. I found myself checking in with friends and family members that I haven't spoken to in a while, and there's so much positive thinking going around. I see so many posts, just people encouraging others to, hey, we're all in this together. We're all going to get through this together. It's bringing families closer together. As families are stuck inside with each other, they're coming together and being with each other. There's less distractions. I've been amazed just walking around my neighborhood. I've never seen anything like it. On like a Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock, when normally I have the whole neighborhood to myself if I'm walking my dog, now there are families everywhere walking together, dogs walking everywhere, kids playing everywhere. It's incredible because everyone's home and they're finally connecting with each other. It really reminds me, it has reminded me in a lot of ways of a Pleiadian society. And that's one real special side effect that's happening because of this event that's going on. Let's talk about fear a little bit. Fear is, of course, a very Martian energy, as is domination. That's a very, very Martian energy. Domination requires fear in order to be effective. Without fear, there's nothing to dominate, right? This is exactly why the Dark Ones haven't yet just blown us to smithereens and been done with us. They'd rather toy with us and extract as much fear as possible out of us. In fact, that's exactly how they feed on us. They feed on the fear, literally. In the words of David Icke, delete fear and the whole thing falls apart. The fear being caused by this event in the world is a lot more valuable to the Dark Ones than any depopulation that occurs due to it. The media isn't spending a whole lot of time teaching people how to relax and meditate right now. So, as usual, it's up to us light workers to pick up the slack for what the media isn't doing. We need to get the word out that fear lowers the immune system. It does. And to teach people how to breathe deeply and meditate. We need to encourage people to get out in nature and relax as much as possible. There has never been a time, at least since I would say World War II on this planet, where it's more important for us to be meditating. Meditation is so gosh darn important right now. It relaxes our nervous systems. It separates us from the collective fear energy that is just so high on the planet right now. And literally, there's very few places around the globe where you can get away from that energy unless you're Foresty Forest, who, look him up, he's a great YouTuber. He he travels in a minivan in the Arctic, all around the Arctic during winter. It's fantastic. But unless you're him living in a minivan up in the Arctic, it's hard to get away from this physically. We can hide in our homes, and that is the best thing we can do. The social distancing is a good idea. And to all the people out there who is saying that this is all fake, you're wrong. And I'm sorry, and I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on this, and that's fine. I want to hear your comments. But it is not fake. This is a real thing. I would say it's kind of like a science experiment, if you get my drift, but it is real. It's a biological thing. And thus, by practicing social distancing, we actually are helping to mitigate it, or at least slow it down. But our true power in not only getting through this, but really arresting it is meditation. And there is a very important conjunction coming up on April 4th. It is a Jupiter and Pluto conjunction. And with that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, it is a really, really auspicious time for us to hold mass meditations to slow this whole thing down, and not just what's spreading around the world, but what they're building and what they're installing and all of that. We can slow it all down, okay, by meditating en masse, especially on April 4th, but we should be doing it anyways. A great meditation tool that I want to share, this was shared by Shakina and Sananda, is to use the white fire. Just like the violet flame is a very cleansing flame that I encourage all my clients and everyone I know to use all the time to cleanse their energy fields, cleanse their homes, etc., heal their body. The white fire is a crucial tool because it's an extremely purifying tool. And to use the white fire, you visualize yourself, your entire aura, in a white flame, literally a white fire, but all white, and you visualize it around your home, around your community, around your state, your country, and the whole world. The entire world needs cleansing from this thing that's spreading around. And not only the thing that's spreading around, the biological thing, we need cleansing from all of the fear that is spreading around as well. So that's a wonderful tool. Anything you can do that relaxes your nervous system. I love doing Tai Chi. I try to make myself do now that I can't go to Tai Chi class because it's, of course, closed down. I got to make sure that I do it at least once or twice or more a week. I should do it every day, I love Tai Chi. People who are yogis, you love yoga, do yoga from home. There's no yoga classes. Make a routine out of it. Anything that relaxes your nervous system, singing, humming, stimulates the vagus nerve, which relaxes the nervous system. I'm always singing. If you follow my Instagram, sometimes I post my very poor singing voice just because I want to express my joy in that moment. So anything that relaxes your nervous system is crucial at this time. Meditation to visualize the cleansing of the planet, use the white fire, use the violet fire, and visualize this thing being eradicated, this thing going away with the least damage possible. And we need to, maybe even most important of all, we need to call in help. Okay? We are at a crucial point in humanity right now. We are at a timeline junction. This is very important to understand. The same junction we had during the 9/11 thing that happened on September 11, 2001, which was an intent from the dark to hack into the timeline and force the planet into the timeline that they want. And they're doing it again. They got the timeline they want, for the most part, from that. And now it's the next step. The next step is to get them on the timeline they want, so by 2030, there won't be a whole heck of a lot of us left here. And I sorry to put it that darkly, but that's what they want. And for the ones that are left, they want absolute control. Absolute control over every aspect of life. It is diabolical, it's insane, it's psychopathic, it's mental illness at its worst. But these are the beings that are at the top of the power chain on this planet. Now, why I mean we need to call in help is because there is the presence of benevolent light beings all over this planet, and they've been here all along, even with the dark ones here. They just haven't been able to intervene because as a collective consciousness of our human race, we did not ask for intervention. We wanted to do this on our own. And the beings that are overseeing this lab experiment of planet Earth have desired to see what would happen. Would humanity prevail or not? But we also can ask for intervention. But they need us to ask en masse, and not enough people yet on this planet are asking for intervention. We need at least a tipping point of people on the planet to ask for the intervention before we really start seeing that, okay, wow, things are going our way. Like when we someday see the streaks across the sky stopping. This psychopathic Congress in the United States, they are trying to pass a law along with the emergency act, the $1 trillion act to pump money into the economy and to help people out. They're also hiding in it a law that makes it so states and municipalities are no longer allowed to require companies to report toxic substances in their products. I'm serious. You can read about this. And they call it something like the Accurate Labeling Act or something very Orwellian like that. And they're hiding this in there, and that they often do this. They'll hide these little things in these bills that come back to haunt the American people years later. And this thing would eliminate Prop 65 in California, which forces companies to put a disclaimer on any product that contains anything toxic. And it's absolutely insane. It's beyond insane. But this is what's happening. More people have to wake up. There's not enough people. Listen, on a spiritual level, yes, I teach this all the time. We have exactly the number of people awake on the planet that we need to. But we're also living in a moment-to-moment linear reality as we live it. In reality, nothing is linear. It's all quantum. But the way we're living out the movie, it feels like it's linear and moment to moment. And in this moment, in the present moment, is where we have our power. It's where we have our point of creation. The void of creation is only in the present moment. And from this present moment, we have to step up our game. We have to step up our game as meditators. We have to step up our game as spreaders of information. We have to step up our game as lovers, becoming more loving than before. We have to step up our game of physical purification. Okay? We have to step up our game of emotional purification, meaning all the stuck emotions within. We need to deal with them. We have to heal even quicker now than before, because we're at a critical juncture here. We're at a very critical juncture here. And although I believe with certainty that in the end humanity wins, we're seeing it play out moment by moment, and we need to step up our game. We absolutely need to step up our game. And I know that everyone listening to this is willing to do so. I know that all you are willing to be more loving to yourselves and your family than ever. I know you're willing to prepare whatever you feel is necessary, a month's worth of food, 2 months' worth of food, 3 months' worth of food. Stock up on your vitamin C and your colloidal silver and whatever else, your carbon 60. And at the same time, to be able to watch the news without fear. If you can watch the news, what's going on without fear, that's good. You're in a good place. If you can't, then pay less attention to the news. Just pay less attention. We have to step up our games. We have to visualize. We have to pray. We have to ask. We have to call in the help from above, from the angelic and archangelic realms, from the realms of the benevolent entities and the astral planes around this planet, and from our Christed extraterrestrial friends that are both inside and outside this planet. Not only that, to call in help from the beings that live in the hollow earth, the Telosians that live in Mount Shasta, Agarthans, the Agarthans from the inner earth. These are we can call upon these beings too, because they're closely monitoring what's going on on the surface of our planet here, and they know we're at a critical junction here as well. And with Chiron conjuncting this Aries new moon and this Aries energy, we have the possibility of a very quick restructuring of the masculine energies on the planet in a positive way. We could really see that what perhaps was planned doesn't even come to be, at least not in the extent it could have been. That is very possible. It's also possible that we really will see the worst of the worst coming from the Martian governments of this planet. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but the governments of the planet which carry that Martian energy. And again, Mars is the ruler of Aries. So as you can see, this is an important time. Number one thing, do not be in fear. Number two, meditate. Number three, love. We need to love more fiercely than ever before. With Saturn and Aquarius, as our freedoms are restricted, we cannot let that throw us off our center. We need to remain centered. As Sananda and Shekinah say, remain at 12 o'clock. We need to remain in our center of power. Remain in the present moment. Do not try to escape this reality. Do not try to escape, my friends. Face it head on. Face this reality head on and become the rock inside the raging river. Become the Buddha in the middle of a battlefield. Avoid thinking rigidly about anything. Okay, this situation is changing minute by minute, day to day, and there are so many different possible timelines because this is a big hack in the timeline. It's an intended hack. It's a big juncture in the timelines. So because of that, there's so many different possibilities here. So we need to be very flexible in our thinking. And we need to the work here is inward. They're pouring things on us out, from the outside. And yes, as I said, we do need to spread information, spread awareness. We need to continue to not consent to the 5 thing, GG. We can't consent to that, but the work for most light workers is this is inward work. As we're meditating and as we're feeling at peace and loving throughout all of this garbage that's going on, we are spreading that energy and we are foiling their plans for domination through fear. And we have to bring more and more people on board with that. So any way you can connect with those in your life who are not yet really on a conscious spiritual journey, any way you can connect with that. Hey, Grandma, do you want to do some meditation with me? Hey, Dad, do you want to go for a walk in nature with me? Hey, old friend, have you heard of what's going on here with the new technology that's coming to the planet? And, some of the scientists, a lot of scientists saying maybe there's a problem with it. However, it's our responsibility as awake people to meet people who are less awake on their level. It doesn't work the other way around. They just won't listen. They'll just tune it out. Because you got to remember, if if 95% of what they're hearing is one rhetoric from the media, repetition is powerful, and that's what they're going to believe. And just one person saying one thing, that's why so easily you can be labeled as, oh, you're just crazy, or this is crazy. So we have to meet people, and sometimes just walking someone very slowly to the truth is going to be a lot more effective than laying the whole truth on them. For most people, they'll just reject it, and cognitive dissonance will step in. We have the opportunity to really become leaders, spiritual leaders, and I consider myself a New Earth leader, a spiritual leader. There are many spiritual New Earth leaders out there in the community that I respect. So many leaders that are on this channel, if you're listening on the Higher Self channel, that I respect greatly. But everyone listening to this and everyone in the comments section, you are leaders too. This Aries is, the highest aspect of Aries is courage. And that's what needs to be cultivated now, along with love and along with peace and meditation, is courage. And as we cultivate that, we all become New Earth leaders. And what's happening is we're seeing the real return of the Christ. The return of the Christ is not Jesus Christ, the entity coming to earth in physical form. It's the Christ consciousness coming out in all beings. And as the light workers and starseeds, we've been the first. And in order for this planet to be free, we need that consciousness to continue to spread like wildfire. It's going to happen. It's happening. But we need to step up our game. We need to step up our game. So I want everyone to commit to peace, love, courage through this time. Meditate daily. Relax yourself as best you can. Laugh. Have fun. Be playful. Okay? Make jokes about things. You know, the more light we can take things, that completely just evaporates the energy of fear. All right, everyone. And thank you so much for listening. I'd love to hear everyone's comments below. Tell me what you think about what I just said. And if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Matthew John. I am a spiritual teacher, spiritual healer, international speaker, Starseed guide, and energy healer. And you can check out my website. The name of my website is youareadivinehuman.org. Very easy, youareadivinehuman.org, all spelled out, okay? And if you go to that website, you can check out all that I offer. There's so many free resources on my website as far as videos and audios that are very helpful. You can check out my webinars and courses that I offer, and also what I offer as far as private sessions. I do offer online private sessions over phone, Skype, video, however you want to meet, for anyone anywhere in the world. And I've worked with people in over 60 countries already, and I want to grow that number too. I want to work with someone from every country possible. But what I'm doing now is we are booking out for about mid-April. And the most popular way that people work with me is my spiritual mentoring package. It's a 4, 5, or 6 session package. There's also a longer option as well. You get 4 or more 90-minute plus sessions, extended soul plan reading, which we're reading your life plan and your karmic relationships and your future, an angel energy healing session with a soul retrieval, inner child healing, and unhealthy attachments purging, and we're working on all your chakras and your auric field, medical intuitive reading, and intuitive nutrition report, chakra scanning report, a Starseed discovery session where you get to travel to your home planet or your place of origin in the galaxy or outside the galaxy even to figure out where you're from. You get coaching for developing a spiritual business as appropriate, if that's something you like to do, coaching for abundance, and you get unlimited email support between sessions. I give you homework between each sessions. You get 3 bonus courses, webinars with the first, with the package A, Putting the Past in the Past, Mastering Your Intuition, and Spiritual Hygiene, Core Cutting, Grounding 101. There's a package B, you get all that plus a 2-hour past life regression. And there's a package C where you get all that plus a future life progression and more webinars, a deeper level of forgiveness, awakening divine masculine, navigating the dark night of the soul, and dissolving the ego. So if that sounds like something like, wow, that sounds pretty cool, it is. It's very comprehensive. We're working on you spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is to take you from where you're at to a much more healed and person, someone who really feels like they're on their life's mission in earnest, like I do. And so all those options are also available as individual sessions. Okay, if the package isn't possible for you. Now, because of what's going on, I'm very aware of the financial implications and the fact that a lot of people are losing their jobs. I'm very aware of this, and because of that, from now until further notice, if you feel you are directly affected by what's going on right now, and if you feel like you are financially affected, just let me know your situation, okay? And I will do a sliding scale if you are being affected. If you're not, if you have a lot saved up, if you're still working, etc., if you're doing okay, then I would ask that you do pay the normal price. But if you are being affected by this, or if you feel like you're going to be really affected by this as this goes on, and you would still like to work with me, we can do it on a sliding scale. Okay, so just email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, or go to my website, bottom right corner of the screen. It's got my picture. It says, "Have a question, ask Matthew John." Click on that and just type in your question, or if you want to, tell me that you would like to work with me, but you need a sliding scale, let me know. Okay, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Just know that this is my full-time career. This is my only source of income, and I need to eat and pay for my responsibilities just like everyone. So keep that in mind. But I do understand what's going on, and I do understand that people do need some special assistance right now. So I'm here to help the world as best I can. I'm here to serve while still, doing what's best for my health and well-being as well. So let me know if you have any questions as well that have to do with this new moon. If you want to know any more information about anything I talked about in this transmission, or just any questions in general, even personal questions, please ask me by using that chat tab or emailing me, and I will get back to you very, very soon, usually within 24 hours or less. And I look forward to speaking with everyone on the next full moon. And do remember that April 4th conjunction, okay, is a really great time for mass meditation. So look out. I've already seen a lot of different healers out there are organizing mass meditation. So I will be sending stuff out to those of you who are on my email list. And if you're not on my email list yet, just go to my website and click on the little pop-up. You get a free meditation with it as well. And please join in with the mass meditations that are going to be happening, because we can make a big difference. I remember when it was Hurricane Michael a couple years back, that there were mass meditations that were planned, and literally it may have only been a few thousand people that joined in. It was enough to weaken Hurricane Michael significantly. The same thing happened with Hurricane Irene. That is the power of meditation. So we can't take that lightly. Although I said, yeah, the train is rolling down the hill, the train can be slowed down. I don't know if we can stop this. I have a feeling this is going to carry on for a bit regardless, but we can really slow it down and really put a damper in their plans to make this a big reducer of the number of, souls. So let's do it. All right, everyone, we're in this together. I love you, and I love hearing from all of you, especially now. Like, really, I love emails. I love comments. So please talk to me. I want to talk to everyone. I love all of you and talk to you in a few weeks.